All of us can tend to get stuck in certain thinking patterns. Breaking these thought patterns can help you get your mind unstuck and generate new ideas. In this lesson we would explore several techniques you can use to break established thought patterns. According to Albert Einstein, imagination is more important than knowledge. In this unit, we will look at some techniques to break through our normal patterns of thinking, to help us solve problems. The challenge with generating solutions is oftentimes to think outside the box. This is not always easy. This unit provides some tools to help you think creatively and find innovative approaches to problem resolution. The first thing we can do is to challenge assumptions. For every situation, you have a set of key assumptions. Challenging these assumptions gives you a whole new spin on possibilities. For example, you want to buy a house, but can't since you assume you don't have the money to make a down payment on the loan. Challenge the assumption. Sure, you don't have cash in the bank, but couldn't you sell some of your other assets to raise the money? Could you dip into your retirement fund? In thinking outside the box, the picture starts looking brighter. Another way of breaking through is to reword the problem. Stating the problem differently often leads to different ideas. To reword the problem, look at the issue from different angles. For example, ask, why do we need to solve the problem? What's the roadblock here? What will happen if we don't solve the problem? These questions will give you new insights, and possibly new ideas to solve your new problem. For example, in the mid-1950s companies were losing money on freighters. They decided they needed to focus on building faster and more efficient ships. However, the problem persisted. Then one consultant defined the problem differently. He said the problem the industry should consider was how can we reduce cost? The new problem statement generated new ideas. All aspects of shipping, including storage of cargo and loading time, were considered. The outcome of this shift in focus resulted in the container ship and the roll-on roll-off freighter. Another breakthrough technique is to think in reverse. If you feel you cannot think of anything new, try turning things upside down. Instead of focusing on how you could solve a problem, or improve operations, or enhance a product, consider how could you make the problem worse, or how you could degrade operations, or downgrade the product. The reverse ideas will come flowing in. Once you've reversed them again, think of them as possible solutions for the original challenge. Another breakthrough technique is to express yourself through different media. For example, we have multiple intelligences. But somehow, when faced with workplace challenges, we just tend to use our verbal reasoning ability. How about expressing the challenge through different media? Clay, music, word association games, paint. There are several ways you can express the challenge. Don't bother about solving the challenge at this point. Just express it. Different expression might spark off different thought patterns. And these new thought patterns may yield new ideas. Yet another technique is to shift perspective. Get someone else's perspective. Ask different people what they would do if faced with your challenge. You could approach friends engaged in different kind of work, your spouse, a 9-year-old child, customers, suppliers, senior citizens, someone from a different culture, in essence anyone who might see things differently. Play the "if I were" game. Ask yourself, if I was so and so, how would I address this challenge? You could be anyone, a millionaire, Tiger Woods, anyone. The idea is the person you decide to be has certain identifiable traits. And you have to use these traits to address the challenge. Now, let's try a problem which we have to look at from different perspectives. You have been asked to terminate 3 of your supervisors due to the need to downsize. This you consider a very unfair decision, and you are very reluctant to act on it. To help prepare for what will be very difficult conversations to have, consider the problem from different perspectives, and outline what each stakeholder expects and how they will react if you carry out the senior management's requests. The supervisors concerned, and the company's senior managers or owners. Write your answers in your manual. So, if we look at the situation firstly from the supervisor's perspective, we see that supervisors expect to keep their jobs. But in the event they lose their jobs, they expect to be offered some support, to be offered some sort of benefits, to be treated with respect, and to get a good reference. In addition, supervisors will feel angry, emotional, depressed, and embarrassed. The CEO, on the other hand, will expect you to do your job and terminate the employees concerned. He or she will also expect you to terminate your staff with compassion and to ensure that it is done professionally. The CEO will also expect to have no negative fallout from the event. So, you will need to work with human resources on the preparation. In regard to how the CEO will be feeling, they will presumably feel pleased that you have tackled a tough task. On the other hand, they will be very displeased if you refuse to carry it out. They will also be concerned for the morale of the whole workforce, and also concerned for the reputation of the company. How you handle this has implications for your career and the future of the business. We will look now at an approach to weighing up options for solving a problem. This makes use of a morphological matrix. The morphological matrix is a grid with several different columns. The problem solvers enter a specific attribute or issue about the item or problem at the top of each column. Then, for each column, problem solvers generate a list of examples for that attribute. We can see an example overleaf. A sample chart might look like this. The team have identified 4 criteria for the resolution of a parking problem at a school, including safety, timeliness, pedestrians and drivers. This matrix can help identify different considerations of the parking problem. It can also help formulate solutions to complex problems. Let's look at how a morphological matrix can be used to solve a situation in a mine. You are dealing with a potentially very serious industrial dispute. The mine senior management wish to move the entire underground workforce onto 12-hour rotating shifts over 4 days per week, from the current 8-hour shifts over 5 days per week. The union is objecting to the proposal for a number of reasons, none of which you consider cannot be overcome. However, you know that if you cannot reach agreement soon, the company directors may consider closing the mine down. Your response to this problem might have looked like this. From a health and safety perspective, longer hours might mean more safety risks. So longer hours might mean more safety risks. From a planning and logistics perspective, a change to shift scheduling will require equipment and plant maintenance issues to be considered. Shift changes will need to be planned carefully. In considering compensation and benefits, payroll and HRM issues will need to be resolved, and insurance coverage will need to be confirmed. Other issues to be considered include cost savings, which will need to be quantified, and legal requirements confirmed, and family and welfare issues will need to be reviewed. A reframing matrix is a simple technique that helps you to look at business problems from a number of different viewpoints. It expands the range of creative solutions that you can generate. The approach relies on the fact that different people with different experience approach problems in different ways. What this technique helps you to do is to put yourself into the minds of different people, and imagine the solutions they would come up with. We do this by putting the question to be asked, or problem, in the middle of a grid. We use boxes around the grid for the different perspectives. This is just an easy way of laying the problem out, so if it does not suit you, change it. We will look at 2 different approaches to the reframing matrix. You could, however, use this approach in many different ways. Here is an example from a hospital where we can compare the perspectives on complaints about patient delays. The 4PS approach relies on looking at a problem from different perspectives within a business: product, planning, potential and people. From the product perspective, is there something wrong with the product? From the planning perspective, are our business plans or marketing plans at fault? From the potential perspective, if we were to seriously increase our targets, how would we achieve these increases? And from the people perspective, why do people choose one product over another? There are a number of breakthrough thinking patterns you can use in problem solving. These include challenge assumptions, reword the problem, think in reverse, express yourself through different media, and shift perspectives. Our morphological matrix helps you compare various attributes of a problem to develop potential solutions. The reframing matrix is a formal technique used to look at problems from different perspectives. It helps to expand the number of options open to you for solving a problem. There are a number of activities to complete for this unit. Take the time to complete these in your manual. In this way, you will better learn from and retain the knowledge covered in this unit. Thank you for watching this lesson. We hope you have found it useful. Visit our website to view our range of courses on operations and quality management.